Hello friends, I am going to catch up on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I've just had a very full week of socialising and then a 24-hour virus with quite a bit of vomiting. Sorry to mention that, but now I'm going to make a hexagon. So I picked up one of these little ones from Spotlight and I had a play with it. It's a bit bigger than what I'd like for my Roxy's, but however, I think I'm just going to make one. And I want to get something nice in the middle, something like the flowers. So I know there are so many different ways to do hexies and paper piecing, and obviously, if the prompt is paper piercing, then we should be doing paper piecing. But, however, I always call it paper piercing. I don't know why. I must have learnt that when I was younger. Paper piecing. PP. This is how I've been doing it anyway. These little scissors. And I've been cutting them out. And because I'm only doing one, or even if I'm only doing a few, I tend to just be quite happy to just eyeball turning the edges over. So let's see how we go. And as you know with mine, I'm trying to fit in all the gaps of my table runner because it's quite full. Anyway, this is my version of it. I've got a needle somewhere here and some cotton. Last Tuesday out at the Green Door studio, a couple of ladies, some of them are absolutely amazing. They're just amazing with their stitching. And I was sitting amongst a whole heap of ladies, Jane, Suze, in particular, who have been making piles and piles of paper pieced bits and putting them together and talking about the benefits of how soothing it is to just have an evening or a day even sitting and putting these bits together that end up in the most beautiful quilts. So I'm just getting to this corner and turning over to hold it down. Oh, that's going to be right on that flower. Let's try and get it in. So I'm just finger pressing along here. I said to one of the ladies the other day, I think I've had more conversations in 4 weeks. I mean, I'm up to week 5 now and going home in 1 week. More conversations in 4 weeks than I've had in 3 years. Very, very enjoyable, very full, and it's been lovely to meet new friends and have days at the Green Door and also visit out to Thread Botanica for Sally. They do a Wednesday fortnight drop-in. And just to connect and meet people who are all stitching. Wonderful. So I've had no more, if anyone watched my previous episode, the story about the bat. Gosh, that was funny. Anyway, I haven't had any more animal shenanigans like that. It's right at the end of the video if you want to hear that one. It's been a funny time weather-wise too, because I arrived and it was 33 degree days. And now it's like today it's overcast. It'll be about 20, but we've had some nights that are 3 degrees, some 2 hailstorms, 2 really big hailstorms that when I got home, it actually looked like piles of snow back here. That one was a 3 degree night for sure. And the garden here, as you saw in the episode, the walk through the gardens are just beautiful. The hailstone, they did decimate the plants a bit, the hailstones, because they were quite large. Not all of them, but the more delicate leaves were a bit decimated, unfortunately. But all in all, still got a good system with the garden here. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that'll work perfectly. I think I'm going to leave my stitches in. They don't look too bad. Let me find where this is going on my Roxy's. One sec. So the areas I have spare are kind of getting smaller and smaller, little bits like there, you know, these little bits like there. And that's wonderful. I'm very happy about that, but I think I'd like to put it near the brave ladies. Love that little, oh, I love that. That's always going to have a very special memory, that bit. Oh, isn't it pretty? I think I want to butt it up to here. Let's see if I've got a pin. I do. It's a bit like at home. I've got half the stuff out on the kitchen table and half the stuff out here in this little studio spot. So I'm just going to do a very small whip stitch around. I probably would have liked to have had a bit of, if I'd have had a trip up to the sewing basket, I would have picked up a bit of sort of antique-y material, I think, but I didn't end up managing that. And I might then have made some, well, that was the plan. The plan was, plans don't always work, the plan was to make some fairly small hexies out of some lovely old material, but they're slayed plans, ladies, don't you agree? Okay, so yeah, it's unfortunate I'm able to sit and do this stitching. I was going to catch up with Sarah for lunch, but I don't want to, because they're all going to Italy, I did not want to pass on any of this, whatever it was. It's probably just a 24-hour virus or something. The man next door said that his wife and daughter were vomiting last Monday, and I was vomiting Thursday, yesterday, and this will go up. I'm filming Friday and this will go up tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, but I don't, if it's a 24-hour bug or something, I just didn't want to be risking anyone else catching it. I don't even know where I caught it, honestly. No idea. I wondered if they would, maybe they were doing, if no one else is sick with this, a few people have got a funny flu thing, but if no one else is sick and it's just me and next door, I'm wondering about the roadworks, wondering about that. Last Friday, across the road, I don't know what they were doing, but they were digging up and doing all sorts of things. Always I am a little bit concerned about something like that because you never know. I don't want to be paranoid, but you never know what's getting into your water system, do you? Now, how am I going to do this? Oh, that's pretty. And this was a beautiful piece from Annika. So once again, another lovely memory of a beautiful, beautiful friend on here. So many memories. Must get on and do a little bit of canthus stitching too, I think. Oh, that might be fun. Been doing so many things. Because I was unwell, I've made a present for Judy, but I also have made a video, and that'll go up next Saturday while I'm driving home. But I couldn't put it up today as was expected, because I won't be seeing her today to give her the present, and I didn't want to spoil the surprise. So that will have to go up next week. Right. Oh, I think I'll have to get some more thread there. That's not quite going to make it. Okay. Just a little bit extra. Cat's staring at me from the doorway. He's been pretty good, really. He's been, he was very, very shy. I might have said he was so shy at the start. He'd run away and he wouldn't come near me. And I was reading something about the, that needs to be bigger. The 3-3-3 rule, where they need 3 days to decompress from a stranger or from, you know, this is actually about going into a new home, but there's still a fair amount of, I guess, similarity if it's a stranger coming into the home to mind them. They still need like a 3-day decompression, a 3-week kind of relax, get comfortable with you, and then 3 months, well, I'm not here for 3 months, but a 3-month period before they just really become themselves. But I consider by week 4 and 5 that the cat has started to play his little tricks. He's very comfortable now. He's started to sleep better because he's more comfortable with me. I've put his special blanket on the bed, so he's sleeping properly on the bed at night. And I mean, he's still waking me up at 3 a.m. and we've just got a routine now where I get up, I make sure there's a bit of food in his bowl, and I do what I would normally do at home because I often wake up at that time anyway, so it's no big deal. And I watch a few YouTubes, have a cup of tea. A cup of tea usually makes me get tired again, and I go back to sleep once he's eaten, toileted, run around and gotten comfortable on the bed, and then I can go back to sleep. And I've been going back to sleep and having an extra hour or two. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, that's so nice. Now, the next prompt was thread painted. So my beautiful quilting book with lovely memories of my friend Karen. And thanks to Beck and Sue for sharing. I've still got a bit of text in here that I thought would be nice. All the trees, oak and ash and thorn. They don't have to be in the same place on this, but I do like them. I might put them on as part of the next prompt, the nature prompt. I have been thread painting this already. I've started. And I'm glad I got a bit of a head start because it is quite time consuming. And I've got to work out where I'm going to fit this. So I'm going to put it on. I've still got that circle in the middle spare, but I did have something for that, which Sarah leaked on her video. Sarah's leaked the thing. Where is it going to go? All right, let's flatten this out a bit more. Can I fit it on this bit here? Let's put it next to the courageous woman. That'd be fun. I don't want to cover that. That's the thing. Oh, I get a bit thingy. I don't want to cover things. I don't want to cover over too many things. Maybe I can cut it back a bit. But this is beautiful, this flower. Maybe I don't need all this bit. Maybe that could go there. That can go over there a little bit. I guess this could... I want that flower still. I'd still like to thread paint that flower. All right, I'm biting the bullet. I wasn't going to, but I think I'm going to fit it in here. But I think I'm going to cut this back along here. Got enough of an edge to tuck under. And I've started thread painting that flower there. Now let's have a look. I'll take that leaf off. Just one leaf. Let's see how it looks. How is everyone? Everyone well? I hope so. I have a quiet day today just to recover from that virus or whatever it was. Oh, I like it up this way, but it does encroach. What if it's this way? Oh, I can get it round there a bit. Do I need those extra bits? Oh, I'm really doing a chop today. What I'd like to do is start to thread paint some of the leaves. Well, I've got all those extra bits now. I can do that on something else. All right, let's see. That way. That way. Is that the only solution? That's now what I'm thinking. Probably say something different from where you're watching from. You know what? I think I might thread paint this one and separate it out. Make it separate. Oh, I do like that leaf. Let's see if that can go. This is the biggest haircut ever. I was really enjoying that being a really big piece. Well, oh, that fits nicely there, but I don't want that over there. There'll be nothing left for me to thread paint once I get this on. I love that other blue rose though. I've still got this green. Now I can fit it somewhere else. Maybe just alongside there. Maybe alongside here. Like that. All right, I like that. All right, well, there you go. You never know. You have to doodle noodle around a bit sometimes. Okay, let's get that on. Then I have got a leaf to thread paint. Wow, this is just going to be so full. And even when we've finished what's there, the next prompt after this is nature. And then tomorrow there'll be a new prompt. And there's only 2, I think, after that. So I've got a lot of gaps that I'm going, so I won't finish it. I'll have to revisit some of the prompts, have a few gaps and, you know, just see what I want to put in. So I am just, the good thing about the thread painting, it's pretty thick. You can do it almost an invisible stitch all the way through there. You won't really see it too much. But I do think I want to get some of those little edges tucked in under. Someone said to me, how's your time been? And I had to think about that and think, well, it's been a variety of things. There's been quite, you know, there's been trouble, but not something that has affected me long term. And I think it's been really healing being up here. Some of the friendships I've made, getting out of my comfort zone a little bit in terms of much more interaction than normal, which is probably a good thing for me. I shouldn't be so introverted, but you know, I am. It's been really lovely to have conversations with people about that sort of stuff, about anxiety and introverted versus extroverted. And I've said it before on a video, but the acceptance of women, when you can be in your own head, we also had a conversation about this, you can be in your own head thinking you don't know people, or you're not accepted, or, you know, many things like that. But the community is always showing to me how amazing these women are and how accepting. It doesn't matter what you're thinking about yourself, there will be someone reflecting back that you're doing a good job, or that you're okay, or even 1 or 2 people have reflected back to me how nice it is to have friendship. You know, it's a good thing. So it's been a bit healing. And interestingly enough, for the area, it's quite a nice area. And it's really made me think, because, you know I mention every so often the thought of selling and moving or downsizing, and I've been getting over the relationship breakup and haven't been able to contemplate that I'd even be able to fathom how to move. But with the help of the estrogen patch and being up here, it's really given me some food for thought. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I might go back and nothing happens, and I'll just be as you are whenever anything like this happens, a changed person. I think Annika would say, no, you're moving up here. Well, you know, that's a lovely idea. But my kids are in Melbourne. So yeah, it's been, I think, quite a healing journey without me thinking it was going to be. I did not think it would be in any way cathartic. I just thought, oh yeah, I'll just go up there and I'll hang out and I'll do art, which I have done. It's been absolutely wonderful. I haven't done any sort of art retreaty kind of videos or anything. I've just been really having fun. I guess the next 2 videos for the next 2 weeks are smaller little craft projects that are a result of my time up here and sharing a little bit about how to make them. But they're not really big, massive projects. They're just small, fun, rainy afternoon kind of projects. But I've been doing them for the last few weeks and really loving them. I'm exploring. As well as stitching. It's been quite fun. It's certainly going to be different heading up to the next Pet Sit House Mind because it's on flying. So I've been thinking about the difference of what you take when you've got your car, which is a lot more stuff, and what you take when you're flying. So we'll see what happens for that. Don't know. Don't know yet. Here we are, getting this down. I'll have to go and find some green thread for that leaf. I think I will put this one on somewhere on it and thread paint that too, because I really like that, but that might be a get that done later kind of thing. Okay, I can just do a little bit of a running stitch through here because I'm going to put the thread painting over the top. So many memories made here, many friendships, much kindness, much sharing. Beautiful, really nice. And another thing, I had someone once wrote on one of my posts when I was perhaps talking a little bit about politics and shouldn't have been, that she felt that she just wants to watch videos and just stitch along. And I have to admit that that is the bulk of my subscribers. And you're all absolutely wonderful. But another thing I've noticed, that I could talk to someone who was in a completely different political headspace than I am, and there's still a chance for friendship. And I've got friends in America, and you know, I'm not going to talk about people's political stances. But another thing, the community, the way that we can just chat and be friends without having to fight about that sort of thing. I like that. That's really, really good. I'm not really a political person. I'd rather not talk politics. But I don't want to feel that that ostracises someone from being part of a community if someone has a different political opinion. That's probably all I'm going to say about that, because everyone should be welcome and everyone should be supported. Okay, let's finish getting this down and then I will get to finding my green threads. All right, I have finished stitching that down and I've got this green. Sort of matches in with these, that one in particular, but it doesn't look too clashy with this green, so I quite liked it. And I'm just going to thread paint this. Having quite the natter before, now I've gone into the quiet zone. The things we do. Alright, I might come in over the top of this with another green. This has sort of got lighter to darker on the edges, so we'll see how we go. This is, did I say that? 3 strands of embroidery floss. I could do leaf stitch and start at the top and do it, but it's more like a satin stitch, I guess. Satin stitch being coming across a space. And back down on the opposite side. That's technically the correct satin stitch. And it's so, instead of having your stitches all like that on the back, you just have a little stitch here and a little stitch here and a little stitch here and a little stitch here. Occasionally I go across like that. I think my brain is very creative, and so I don't always follow rules. I've loved the last, I guess, 5 or 6 years of being on YouTube and learning a lot of stitches from Anne Brooke, Rachel, Sarah, and by default Juju, of course, because she taught them a lot. It's so nice to be in a position now to be able to show other people how to do some of this stuff, and and not feel like I'm still doing my apprenticeship, if you like. I did say that to Rachel at the last workshop when she was in Australia. I feel like I've only just finished my apprenticeship of learning all this stuff. Anyway. Definitely nice to appreciate and be grateful for all the things. Right, so I'm just going to work my way up the side here. Probably will end up snippy dipping this a bit more because that'll fray. Once these stitches are in down here, these edges aren't too bad. So what was I saying? I was talking about the healing up here and the transformation that I wasn't expecting. I feel that what I've also discovered is that I really don't like living where I'm living. I mean, I love my place, and it's a really great little house, townhouse, but I'm not really utilising the upstairs, so that's a bit of a waste. And I just don't really think I like the area I'm in. So I'm really thinking a lot about that. A lot to think about. Sometimes these trips are not what you expect them to be. And I don't really like the concept of, what's the word? It's like planning everything out too much doesn't allow for the joy and the beauty of what could be. The little surprises that happen along the way. All right, how am I going to do this? Well, I'm going to just change direction now. I'm going to come right up there. Get a little bit of creative movement happening. Of course, anyone who's super logical will go, oh, I can't do it that way. But that's what we have to find our rhythm and our what works for us. And of course, we're all different ages as well, so we're all at different stages. I've been reminded that even a 10-year gap reminds me, people who are 10 years younger and what they're doing, even on YouTube and stuff, reminds me of the journey that I've been on. I'm having a bit of a discussion the other day around the table at Annika's of just the difference. Like, I've already run a business, I've already done the whole website thing in a different area. I've done, like all the things I've done that now I kind of don't want to go and do all that again, which makes me question why I do the YouTubes. And I realised I do it for the connection to community, and I do it for, certainly not for financial gain, but definitely for the connection to the amazing women in this community and the friendships. All right, I'm just coming to the end here. And I've just been doing a range of long and short stitches, satin stitch, bit of a combination to kind of, I guess, get a bit more variety in the texture of the piece. There we go. Getting there, last few bits. I think that might be enough. Happy about that. Okay, there's my thread painting. I will at some point do this one. Now that I've cut it off, I can probably, I could have probably left it if it was there. I can't remember if it was where it was. Seems like it might have been there. But I might be able to fiddle and faddle around with it. But for now, that's 2 prompts. So I'm going to end here because I want to go and turn the hose off, which I've been put the soaker on the garden, and see if I can eat something. It'll be my first bit of eating since yesterday's, whatever that was. Getting a bit hungry. I might just have another broth and so make sure I don't have an adverse reaction again. Get some editing done for this video and the next 2, so as I'm free to pack up and get driving home. And thank you, as always, thank you for being here and listening to me having a little bit of a rant today. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.